Welcome to Difficult Conversation Africa broadcast. I present to you the host, Yinka Olaito.
The 2025 tax reform marks one of the most significant overhaul of Nigeria's fiscal framework in recent years, aimed at widening the tax net, improving compliances, and increasing government revenue. While policymakers argue that the reform will promote equity, simplify procedures, and create a fairer system, many citizens are still uncertain about what these changes mean for their daily lives and business and long-term financial goals. Taxes can feel complicated, but 2025 reforms are about to touch everyone's pockets. Whether you are a worker, entrepreneur, or a consumer, these changes aren't just numbers on paper. They will shape how much you can take home, how much you can spend as an individual, and even how business thrive. We talk of fairness and digital compliance and boosting national revenue. The big question remains: what do these reforms actually mean for an average Nigerian? This episode breaks down the jargons. It also tackles the myths and gives you a clear citizen guide on Nigeria navigating the new tax form regime. My guest today is Mr. Olorunyomi Olusola, a tax consultant and lead consultant at Skylight Consulting. Welcome, Mr. Olusola, and our topic we'll be discussing today is what the 2025 tax reform mean for an average Nigerian. I'd like to welcome my guest, Mr. Olorunyomi Olusola. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir, my host. It's my pleasure being here.
All right. Having listened to the background, we see that the 2025 reform tax reform is creating a lot of issues. Though officially it will take effect from January 2026, but people are worried, and every Nigerian is worried about all the jargons that are involved. So, in this episode, we want you as a tax consultant, as somebody who had worked in the ecosystem in the last 20 years, to help explain in simple terms that our average Nigerian on the street can really understand. So the first question I'm asking: why should an average citizen care about the 2025 tax reform, sir?
Thank you, sir. The average citizen of this country should care about the 2025 tax reform because it's a reform of hope, a reform of equity, and a reform of fairness. It's a reform of hope in the sense that the government will be able to generate more funds to execute public service projects like road, health, school, and the rest, so that infrastructure will be developed. Equity in the sense that it is, prior to now, it is organized sector that are being taxed. The informal sector are not being taxed. There's no data to capture them. So all of them are going to be captured this time around. It is equity of, it's a reform of fairness in the sense that before now, it is the low-income earner who actually pay more than those who earn more. But the narrative has been changed. So those who earn less will either not pay anything or pay very little, while those who pay more, who earn more, will pay more. That's why it is it concerns the citizen because it's a reform of hope, reform of equity, and reform of fairness.
Mr. Olorunyomi, you say it's a reform of hope. We will get into details because average Nigeria is now concerned. When you are hearing, if you earn 800,000, if you do this, if you are earning below, these are issues that an average Nigerian do not actually understand. But since you as a tax consultant can reaffirm and reassure us that is a tax reform of hope and fairness, I think that we should have less concern. But while we try to believe you and while our listener will try to believe that, I also want to ask this question. What are the three biggest changes people will feel immediately in their daily lives?
Thank you, sir. First of all, the low-income earner will feel so relieved because marginally they will have more take home by the time this reform takes effect 1st January 2026. So they will therefore be more empowered to go about buying food stuff, paying school fees for their children, go about paying transportation, they will take home more home. They have more take home. Then for businesses will, especially small businesses, they will be relieved as well because all the taxes they have been relieved from all taxes, at least the small enterprises whose turnover will be less than or equal to 100 million naira. Then another immediate impact is going to have on the African citizens a sense of compliance, because the reform has made it easy for everybody to comply. You can log in onto a system to generate your tax ID. Then you are expected to comply with ease without anybody running after you. Therefore, simply means that with small businesses, low-income earner, they will feel better in this new regime.
You said that small businesses less than that is a turnover is less than 100 million. I think it used to be 25 million, and now it's now moved to 50 million, right?
That's correct. Presently, it's 25 million. It has therefore been pushed forward to 100 million. So that's going to give them a lot of relief and give them a lot of revenue to expand their business and grow it.
So you are saying that if my income does not have a turnover of 100 million, I'm not supposed to pay anything on that small medium company or organization. I'm only supposed to pay payee, right? Which is pay as you earn.
That is if your salary annually exceed 800,000 naira, then you pay payee proportionately to what you take home. Okay, but if it's less than 800,000 naira, you are 100% completely exempted from payee. However, we're talking about the businesses now. Businesses whose turnover is less than or equal to 100 million naira, or their net assets is less than equal to 250 million naira, are totally exempted from all form of taxes. But they are supposed to be filing. They're supposed to be filing, but they are not supposed to pay.
That means it's a bit better because what people have been hearing is different from what you are sharing. Or maybe it's just fake news or misinformation that is creating fear in the heart of people across the nation, because you are thinking that it is time that government want to actually tax the people more than what they are gaining. So this is a good news, I think, and our listener will be happy to hear that. Even if you run a small business organization, SME, that is less than 100 million or up to 100 million, you don't have to pay anything. But if your payee, which is your own salary from that company, is exceed 800, that is only when you start paying. Will the reform mean higher take-home pay or more deduction for workers? Now you are not talking of workers, whether corporate or public civil servant workers. Will this reform mean higher pay home or reduction in their take home?
Yes and no. Yes, for low income earner, they will take more home. For the medium income earner, they will pay marginally compared to what they used to pay as it stands. But for high income earner, based on the payee rate table, tax rate table, they have to pay a little more than what they are paying currently. Okay, so the low income earner will pay lesser than what they are paying now, with effect from January 1st, 2026. The medium income earner will pay a little, just marginally, while the high income earner will pay more as against what they are paying at the moment. So generally, the lower income earner and the average income earner will have more take home. That's why I call it is a reform of equity and fairness.
Okay, that's even fair then. So if I earn less than 800,000 per annum, I don't have to be afraid whatever happened. It's just so. How do we make? Oh, you talk about tax rates. That means that you only pay tax above 800,000. Whatever you earn above 800,000 is where the tax begin to show forth.
Exactly, sir. You get it, sir. You get it.
Okay, so if I earn 1 million now per annum, I will only pay tax on 200,000.
Exactly, sir.
Okay, that's fine. So the more you earn above 800,000, the more you pay. What is the percent? Are we saying that the percentage is increasing from 800, or is just marginal across board.
It is marginal across board. It is marginal across board. Even the high income earner too, we don't complain because they realize that it is fair the way it is designed compared to what is obtainable at the moment.
So, in your own opinion as a tax consultant, auditor, and all of that, the question is, how do you think the changes will affect everyday spending, things like food, transport, and digital services?
Okay, thank you, sir. Everyday spending like food, transport will not be affected in any way because they are fully exempted. They are fully exempted across all board. However, for those who will be enjoying digital services, they will have to pay. They will have to pay. Yes, and having said that, if you make any payment, make purchases while you are billed value-added tax as a low-income earner, as a small businesses, you stand a chance to apply for input VAT. Okay, when you make purchases, the VAT they charge is called VAT input. You stand a chance to apply for it, and that will bring about reduction in the cost of your production or execution of any project you are doing.
How does that happen? How does that work, sir? Can you please explain in a layman term?
Okay, for instance, now if I operate a small business and I buy assets, I buy laptop, I buy furniture, and I'm fatted. I am fatted. Okay. Now the reform give a rule that as long as I'm still within the threshold of company that will enjoy VAT exemption, then I stand a chance to apply for the refund, to ask for I can claim the VAT I pay on my purchases of assets.
How do we claim?
There is government agency there. For instance, now if the purchases is from the limited liability company, this my firm is limited liability company, I will apply to Federal Land Revenue Service. Of course, all the VAT goes to Federal Land Revenue Service. All the VAT go to so that is the body I'm going to apply to, Federal Land Revenue Service.
But are we sure that Nigeria has gotten to the level you can get that thing back? Because like in Nigeria, they say whatever has gone up never come back to the ground. Based on your own knowledge as a tax consultant, you think that works in this nation?
Yeah, things are changing, sir. I tell you, for instance, for some of my clients who have credit balances in their account at year end through the withholding tax, their claim paid to them, they enjoy it when it is time for them to pay taxes. So a claim was supposed to pay 2 million naira and having credit of 1.5. Okay, we only pay 500,000 naira. It's happening. So we are going there. Everything is being digitalized, and once we have this kind of thing, you can be rest assured that government will have to play its own part as long as the taxpayer are playing their part. So I believe in this regime. I believe in this reform, and I believe it's going to happen.
Yeah, because the fear of everybody is, that when we already pay something, in this system, you hardly get justice for what you have done. But for tax consultant who is in the know like you, giving assurance to our listener and to the general public, I think we have no cause to for alarm to begin to fear that it hasn't. And that the fact also say you have always also shared that you have seen cases where that happened. We just hope that transparency will continue. We just hope that there won't be any middle man in between, because every system in Nigeria can really be corrupted, or some people become a middleman, some people become middlemen who hijack the process and ensure that it doesn't work. But yes, we are going towards digital environment, so I hope we can get it right this time around.
Yeah, we will, because everything is being digitalized now. Transaction could be traced. And we only encourage our people that they should maintain proper bookkeeping, either by means of automation, especially maintain proper bookkeeping. Let all your transactions have a tray, then you won't have any issue. Because with this digital economy, all transactions have date and time. And then when you are making your claim, they will actually cross-check those things, validity, that they are in order. Then there won't be cause for alarm. So we just advise people that they should engage people that can guide them in ensure that all their records are in proper perspective and they won't have issue. So they will enjoy that benefit when we call that.
You said to engage. You know that to engage is a strong word for us here particularly the grassroots people. When you engage, that means you are going to engage a professional. And where's that money that you will still be using to engage a professional? I'm speaking for an average Nigeria, because you are saying that we should also engage. Is it not something that everybody can do on their own? Is there a need for a form of orientation where people can do certain things on their own? Because when you have to engage professionals, the professionals will still come with it. What are your thoughts, sir?
Well, I think there's this saying that if you say education is expensive, try ignorance. You realize the ignorance is much more expensive. I put it to you, for those who appreciate the work of professionals, they save more. The reason is that professional is interested in the growth and development of your business, and as professionals who are SME friendly, their charges are pocket friendly, like our home. So we don't charge you beyond what you can afford. So we guide and ensure that you grow, because that is the job of every professional, to ensure that their clients continue in doing well in business. But if your client is not doing well, they eventually affect you too.
Yeah, you have said that this is a fairer tax regime. And I think that you've mentioned before, I just need clarification, because the reason why we're holding this conversation is for an average person on the street who is afraid, who is a small business owner or informal business sector ecosystem player. So are we saying that small businesses and informal traders they will be facing more taxes or more support?
Okay, we have different professionals with their niche. Some professionals launch out to be SME support, so they don't charge.
Okay.
Yes, if they charge at all, it's something that will be very friendly, maybe just stay fair or something, and they grow with you as business. They grow with you as business. So yes, like ours, we are basically partners in progress with all our clients.
So you are now saying that for now, they might likely get more support instead of facing more taxes for informal and small business owner.
I will advise when they get to the crossroad concerning this tax issue, they should get those who are experts so that they can guide them accordingly, so that they won't put themselves into corner.
People will still need guidance of a sort to actually wade through this water of taxes reform. That's what we're saying. Well, I have hope. So, how is technology like digital taxes filing changing the way citizens interact with the tax system? You are within the ecosystem, a leading player. What have you noticed about technology, digital filing? How is it helping matters?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, technology has come to stay. It has become the art of this reform. So it is transforming business, okay, and with the tax system. For instance, now, in your office, you can do your registration, you can do your filing, you can do your payments. That's to show you that technology has come to stay and is improving and making all transactions become very seamless, okay? Then it is also a way to ensure that it's convenient, because if on your phone, once you have all your credentials, your username, your password, after you must have registered, you can do a transaction on your phone anywhere you are, even if you're out of the country. So therefore, it is bring about giving taxpayer confidence that when they make payment, they are not paid to top party, they are paid to the government. They are not paid to any ghost worker. Okay, and then it's equally ensuring that the tax system is becoming fairer, and then it brings many people into tax nets, so that, like I said, it's fair. Not that some people are paying, some people are not paying, because now all our national ID card, BVN, are linked together to all our financial database, so no escape route for anybody. So it's a level playing ground for everybody. So therefore, hope that as this system is put in place now, it's going to make all the transactions transparent, automated, and taxpayer friendly. That is what technology has come to do as we speak.
Well, thank you for that insight. But a major concern of every person, I'm sure that if you go through the streets, it was not a case that people do not want to pay taxes. The major problem is distrust. What happened to the tax that I'm paying? So this is the question for you as an ecosystem player in the tax tax and all of that. The question I want to ask you is, what safeguards are in place to ensure accountability on the part of government and on the part of taxpayers?
Thank you, sir. I think with this new tax reform, a provision has been made that the Federal Land Revenue Service that's going to be christened Nigerian Revenue Service with effect from 1st January 2026 has responsibility.
Okay.
It has responsibility to ensure that all activity will be subjected to the scrutiny of the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation. And then it has a responsibility to publish its performance activity periodically, that in such a way that citizens can track exactly what is earned and how they are utilized. We are glad about this development. We just pray that it become a reality, and I hope that it's going to become a reality because, like I said earlier, it's a reform of hope, fairness, and equity. So if governments have given us these promises, then we believe that they live up to it because they had the love of the masses at heart. So it's going to be transparent. It's not going to be business as usual. All those agencies that are being harmonized into one now, that is only the Nigerian Revenue Service that kind of be in charge of collecting all revenue. So we can easily track, because it is digitalized, we can only track what comes from where and where is it going. And then we believe that our general office and the like will do the best. And we also trust the quality of auditors we have in this country. If they want to do their job, I give it to them.
Like you said, if they want to do their job, that's a big plus for every Nigerian. I don't want to draw unnecessary attention. We know that the police can do our security system. They are very equipped to do the good job if they want to do their job. But unfortunately, we know that oftentimes we don't have the ideal. We have to deal with what is available. I don't want to go deeper into that, but we know that we are just praying and assuming that everybody will do their job, like you said, because that's the language you use, that if they want to do their job. So what groups stand to get the best from this tax reform, and which one are going to feel the hardest of it?
Okay, thank you very much, sir. It's one of the things we've mentioned earlier on. The low income earner, the average income earner, we pay less. The small and macro businesses, we enjoy the tax-free, period until they grow and ensure that their turnover, exceed 100 million naira, because all they are exempted from all form of taxes. Then all the informal sector trader, especially those who eventually formalize their business, they register with Corporate Affairs Commission, they will equally enjoy benefits, all this relief here and there. However, who will bear the pinch? The high income earner will bear the pinch, because as it is now, some of the luxury goods will be fatted, and some of them will equally have excise duties, especially items coming from outside Nigeria. The large corporation and multinational will bear the pinch, because for every transfer pricing and digital economy, there must be tax needs. All the transactions across social media will be taxed. Then, so those who will pay tax up to as we speak, those who will pay tax, if they are the long hand of the law catch up with them, they pay through their nose. Yeah, they will have to pay more than what they're supposed to pay at beneath you. Then The same thing, enterprises too, who refuses to comply, we have to bear the brunt. Therefore, any medium enterprises whose turnover is over 100 million too, and we equally be part of it. So, like I said, this 2025 tax reform is a redistributive system. So the aim is to reduce the burden on the poor and small businesses, okay, and then to ensure that the larger company and high-income earner contribute more to the national development.
Yeah, Mr. Olorunyomi Olusola, thank you for the insight you have shared for our community and listener. Then, but my question is, as we round up, when you do comparison, because we don't just change tax laws without looking at what happens in your neighborhood in terms of gross domestic income and poverty index and all of them, compared to other African countries. I'm sure that you are well versed in this area and not knowledgeable. What do you think that this tax reform, how do you think is how do you compare it with other tax reform within African countries and environments?
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. With this 2025 tax reform, when we look at it very well, before now, all we've been doing is incremental tax reform. So, VAT value tax from 5% to 7.5%, withholding tax from 5% to 2% or 10%, have been incremental. And that is what is still happening in most other African countries. But this one is complete overhauling. It's complete overhauling. Okay. Yes, look, it brings about consolidation of several taxes and make it single one. So it do away with what is called multiple taxes. The number two is that in other African countries, some of them still embrace manual alongside partial automation. But this in Nigeria, with this 2025 tax reform, is going to be fully automated and digitalized. And I believe we have all it takes to get it running.
Yeah, just because you just raised an issue, you say what we are operating is incremental, but this one is more holistic. But our VAT used to be 5%; it is now 7% or something. Is that not incremental?
That was what we did.
Or VAT is not a tax.
It is. That incremental system is what we used to do along the same thing that other African countries are doing. But this time around, instead of, because you recall there's been this argument that tax should be increased to 10%, 14%, and nothing. Even the committee recommended something more than 7.5. That was an incremental, but it was left the way it is. So it was left the way it is and ensure that every other thing was not touched, and just bring everything to harmonization as it were. Okay. So nothing is increased as it is.
All right, Mr. Olorunyomi, in closing, just one word. What would be your advice to African Nigerians with this tax reform? What should they expect? What do you want to advise them as a tax consultant who understand and who has explained in simple terms what it means? So, what would be your advice to African Nigerian small business owners, individuals, and what have you?
Okay, thank you, sir. My advice to individual, small and medium enterprises is that tax reform has come to stay. With effect from 1st of January 2026, is going to be implemented. So my advice is that where you are at brick wall, where you are at crossroad, seek guidance from professionals who will take you through accordingly and ensure you maintain proper bookkeeping. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Olorunyomi Olusola, a tax consultant and lead consultant at Skylight Consultancy company that is that help people to put their books in order with their knowledge. I want to say thank you for the experience you have shared. Thank you for simplifying the tax reform 2025, and thank you for your charge to average Nigeria that they need to keep their book in proper shape, and then for allaying the fear of every person by saying that the new tax reform is fair and is full of equity. We want to say thank you again for being with us and for sharing your insight. We appreciate you and thank you for all you do For our listener, I want to say thank you. I'm sure that you will learn a lot from this. There's no need to be afraid. It's very simple. If you earn less than 800,000, you don't have to be afraid. If your company, your small scale company, earn less than 100 million turnover per annum, you don't need to be afraid. And the tax you are going to be paying, even for the high income earner, is still marginal. We want to say thank you, and please be on the side of the law. Don't be caught. If your books are not in proper shape, I think that people like Mr. Olorunyomi Olusola are there to help us. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then don't also forget to subscribe to our podcast website, www.difficultconversationafrica.org. I remain Yinka Olaito, your host. See you in the next edition.
Thank you for listening to this episode. For inquiry, please send an email to info@difficultconversationafrica.org. Telephone 0809 591. Please follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Difficult Conversation Africa. See you soon.